Good morning and welcome to the news at 10 on NTA News 24, reaching you from Abuja. I'm Comfort Amadu.
And thanks for joining us. I am Ruth Aguele. Now the headlines.
First April Fool, who is caught in the web? Correspondent on this assignment.
Life shouldn't be too steep and difficult. So once in a while, when you crack jokes like that, it has nothing to, it adds to the joy of life.
The Nigerian Air Force describes as untrue online report on molestation of suspects in Zamfara.
Harnessing the potentials of Tadashonga irrigation project in Kwara State for developmental gains.
We have been facing very major challenges in terms of flooding.
And we start off with April Fool bug. Yes, it's that time of the year again when practical jokes and pranks are pulled on family members, loved ones, friends, and if you will, colleagues in good nature.
Well, Abdulkarim Mohammed Zurmi heads to the streets of Abuja to find out how people feel about April 1st, commonly known as April Fool's Day.
There are fun and games on April Fool's Day around the world, and Nigeria is no different. No one really knows where or when it started, but one thing is for sure. There have been some epic pranks pulled. One that comes to mind was when the BBC convinced its listeners in 1976 that there'd be a decrease in gravity on Earth. You can imagine how the phone lines went crazy that day. Well played, BBC. We take a look at various pranks people have pulled on each other in their years celebrating this popular day.
For me, I think, life shouldn't be too steep and difficult. So once in a while, when you crack jokes like that, it has nothing to, it adds to the joy of life. So April Fool that we know in, the African parlance is just one of those things that we grew up with.
People use it to pass time. People use it as a joke. But anyway, once upon a time I was in Anambra State. Like one man used it to deceive one house help. He told the house help that your mother said you should cook 10 cups of rice. And when the girl entered inside, the girl go and cook the 10 cups of rice. When the woman came back, the woman was very surprised. I will come find out that the woman didn't say it. And later the man said, I was just joking, it's just April Fool.
It brings out the anxiety out of people, and it's a good experience.
It's all laughs and play till it's taken to the extreme. All in good cheer and all that, I guess.
They just call me from our school that, okay, fine, my ex-girlfriend just collapsed, okay, fine. And you know mutual things about relationship. Very, very scary. I have to fly from Ado-Ekiti to Ilorin. Wow. I'm telling you the facts.
I wonder if they still stayed as friends.
Very, very.
Okay. Well, good on you, friend. So, fellow Nigerians, keep an open mind today. For all we know, you could be the next April Fool's victim. In Abuja, Abdulkarim Mohammed Zurmi, NTA News.
Ruth, sometimes those pranks can really be extreme.
Yes, and scary, but, if you're aware of the day that it's April Fool's Day, that is April 1st, I think you'll be conscious. Have you been pranked today?
Of course. Someone sent me my wedding invitation, and I opened it, and it was like April Fool. I didn't see it coming.
But the laughs is always good.
Now let's move on to the next story. A very cheering news as the federal government says it is going to set up 6 cashew processing plants in 4 states. A statement by the Minister of Agriculture, Aldo Ogbe, says Enugu and Benue states will have 2 plants each and 1 each for Kogi and Oyo states. The minister says the initiative is aimed at adding value to the produce, creating employment and wealth to the country. Aldo Ogbe added that the initial challenge over years is access to credit. However, the federal government is discussing with the Brazilians with a view of bringing in machines that will process the cashew fruits into juice, which has a high content of vitamin C.
And experts are of the opinion that Nigeria has no reason to import rice if the country develops and leverages on its irrigation potentials.
One of such projects is the Tadashonga Irrigation Project in Kwara State, which the Water Resources Minister Suleiman Adamu recently visited. Musbat and Wahab reports.
Tadashonga Irrigation Project was initiated to convert challenge to opportunity. Located on the bank of River Niger, the project was designed to demonstrate the improved method of rice cultivation in floodplains. But the project, which started in 2010 and scheduled to be completed in 2013, expected to produce about 35,000 metric tons of rice annually, suffered challenge of funding. Interestingly, it is now one of the 116 ongoing projects prioritized for completion by the government. The crops and fish farmers who have been longing to leverage on the project appealed to the federal government to fast-track its completion.
And we shall be so much glad if federal government can assist us, most especially in the areas of rice farming, because we have been facing very major challenges in terms of flooding. When our rices are already done, the flood will just clear everything.
Water Resources Minister Suleiman Adamu promised the people and the Emir of Shonga, Haliru Yahya, that the government of the day is committed to the project's completion.
Because of the scope and the benefits that stand to be accrued from this project, we accorded it high priority. And we are making effort to complete it.
It's a very strategic project. It's got a capability of multiply effect because the Fadama area is so huge and covers right down to across Vida and whatever.
The components of the project include a 32-kilometer flood protection embankment, a gravity irrigation covering about 5,000 hectares with pumping stations on the bank of River Niger. In Abuja, Musbah and Wahab, NT News.
And now to security matters. The Nigerian police has reassured stakeholders of commitment towards sustaining the community policing initiative to ensure adequate security of lives and property in the country.
Acting Inspector General Mohammed Adamu Abubakar stated this in Lafia during a visit to Governor Umaru Tanko Al-Makura of Nasarawa State. Joshua Ojitsu reports.
The Acting Inspector General of Police, Muhammad Adamu Abubakar, who was in Lafia for wedding engagement of his children, met Governor Umaru Tanko Al-Makura on improving security situation in the state. He says securing local communities will be given priority in order to curb crime in parts of the country. The acting IGP solicits the support of state governments as he urges people in rural communities to avail police with useful information towards tackling security challenges.
And in doing so, we are in the process of restructuring the way the police function is so as to meet up with the challenge of community policing. By the idea of community policing is to move policing to the community. Let the community initiate, then we'll come and cooperate with the community to solve the problem.
Once every individual within any community considers himself as part and parcel of the security arrangement, I think success would have been achieved even before we embark on the project. So I want to assure you that Nasarawa State will support you, will collaborate with you to ensure the success of police, community policing.
Governor Al-Makura congratulates the acting IGP and assures him of support by the state government. In Lafia, Joshua Ojito, NTA News.
The Nigerian Air Force has issued a statement concerning a viral video and pictures circulating online of military personnel flogging suspected armed bandits in Shinkafi, Zamfara State. According to the statement signed by the Nigerian Air Force Director of Public Relations, Air Commodore Ibikunle Daramola, some of those implicated were indeed NAF personnel stationed at the Galadi subsector at the time, who intercepted suspected armed bandits and resorted to unauthorized methods to extract information. The NAF therefore wishes the public to note that it does not condone such human rights violations and has since taken steps to investigate and take appropriate disciplinary action against those found culpable. The statement says, as an organization, the NAF remains a professional fighting force which will continue to operate within the law while remaining accountable to the Nigerian people.
And the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, says, contrary to alleged insinuations about fresh elections, the Commission will only undertake collation of results from 6 council areas apart from Abua and Odua, where supplementary elections will hold.
The National Commissioner in charge of Edo, Bayelsa and Rivers, May Agbamuchi Mbu, made this known at a stakeholders meeting in Port Harcourt. Robinson Derataide has details.
The enlarged stakeholders meeting had in attendance political party chieftains, candidates, security agencies, religious leaders and NGOs. INEC at the meeting maintained that it has results of 17 local government areas in its custody, stressing that it will only resume collation in 5 local government areas of Ahuda West, Asare Toro, Degema, Gokana and Kana between 2nd to 5th of April. The Commission noted that elections did not take place in Abua Hodwa local government area.
This is a new slate and we're going to start again. And when I say start again, we're going to do it openly. You're all going to be there to see and make your comments. We'll allow those who have any genuine comments to make, we'll allow them to do so.
Stakeholders, including the governor of Rivers State, Nyesom Wike, urged INEC to announce the results of the 17 local government areas and be transparent in the collation process.
Maintain the openness, maintain the transparency. The church has prayed, but we need peace. We Muslims will ask and demand for peace.
The candidate of the African Action Congress, AAC, Biokpamabo Awara, however, expressed dissatisfaction